Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Nicole, I'm a cosmetic doctor. Today I want to talk about the risks of Botox and what you should be doing after your appointment to keep yourself safe. You decided to get Botox, I love that for you. You're going to love it, I promise. It's a wonder drug. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. There are some risks associated with Botox. It is a prescription medication, so of course there are going to be risks. The first risk, which can be very common, and we can see anytime we are injecting the face with a needle, is bruising. If you're a person that bruises easily, then you really should expect to see some bruising after your Botox appointment. The thing I would recommend is using ARNICA cream after your appointment. You can get it from your local chemist and just buy some ARNICA cream, put it on the sites that are bruising, and it will help speed up the healing. But this is what happens when we get Botox, unfortunately, for a lot of people. The second side effect is infections. Less common, way less common than bruising, but it can happen. If your injector isn't maintaining a sterile environment, so if everything's not really nice and clean all the time, then that can increase the risk of you getting an infection. With infections, I would recommend making sure that your injector is a prescriber or they are linked to a prescriber. So if you do get an infection, they'll be able to give you some antibiotics, and then you won't have to try and queue up at the GP and try and get an appointment, because we all know how hard that is. So let's say we're injecting the forehead Botox. If your injector accidentally overtreats the area over your eyebrow, one of these muscles here, it can cause the eyebrow to droop. Especially if you're someone who has hooded eyes, then you might find this. Unfortunately, if that does happen, there isn't really much we can do, but the Botox will wear off. So you just have to wait the 3 or 4 months for the Botox to wear off. If that happens to you, then the next time you go, anytime to get Botox, say to your injector, this is a problem that I do have, so they can be more conservative. Another issue you can have when injecting the forehead, if you're getting forehead Botox, is that this same area can be undertreated. So we get a bit of a brow lift. It's called a SPOCK brow. Now, some people kind of like it. It gives a bit of a brow lift, but a lot of people don't. Thankfully, that is a quick fix with a couple of units of Botox. So if that does happen, make sure to book in your 2-week Botox appointment, which you always should have booked in regardless, but make sure you attend it, because they will be able to fix it. Another side effect that you may see is if you go for something called MASSETER Botox. Now, MASSETER Botox is when you have Botox injected to your jaw. It has a really nice slimming effect on the jaw, and it also really helps with teeth grinding if you're someone who grinds your teeth at night. You get MASSETER Botox and your injector injects too far forward, it can freeze your smile, we call it. So if you take a nice smile, you won't be able to smile all the way, because the muscle that helps the corners of your mouth lift up has had Botox injected, so you kind of get stuck. Again, nothing we can do about that. You just have to wait for it to wear off, but it's just something to bear in mind. And if that does happen to you, like I said before, make sure to tell your injector so they know for next time just to inject a little bit further back. There is also the risk of anaphylaxis, so an allergic reaction that can happen with Botox. You won't know until you have it if you're allergic, but hopefully your injector will have some adrenaline on hand, so it shouldn't be a problem. But that is definitely something to be aware of if you feel strange at the appointment, if your throat's closing. You know, if you're someone who's allergic to things anyway, you'll know the feelings, but just be aware of that. Botox sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't take. That is also something to bear in mind. Very rare, but I have heard some people who just don't take to Botox and it just doesn't work. So unfortunate, but you know, some injectors, if that happens, they will give you your money back, and you know, just it is what it is. Those are the main side effects to know about before you get Botox. Now you've had your Botox appointment, you're feeling happy, nothing's happened, it's all gone smoothly. You need to know that the Botox, you won't start seeing the full effects until 2 weeks after. Most people start seeing effects after a couple of days, but the full effect won't be until 2 weeks. Make sure you don't have an event booked a couple of days after your Botox appointment for the same reason we talked about with the bruising. No one wants to go to an event trying to, you know, cover up their bruises. It's too stressful. Don't do it. Wait the 2 weeks. The Botox will have kicked in and it'll look so good. So it's worth planning your appointment around that. In terms of things to do after your Botox appointment, it's really important that you don't drink a lot of alcohol because this can make the bleeding and bruising worse, and we don't want that. Similarly, I wouldn't advise drinking before your appointment because it can make you bleed more and it just makes things difficult for your injector. I would also not recommend that you wear makeup for 24 hours. I know you might have some bruises, some sore areas. Just try and chill at home. I wouldn't advise wearing makeup. It can introduce infection to the area. Other things, I wouldn't recommend any vigorous exercise for 12 to 24 hours as well, for similar reasons of bruising and bleeding. I wouldn't advise going to get a facial or going to a spa with saunas after your appointment either. Just leave that for 24 hours after. Try not to touch the area that you've had the Botox in. I know it can be tempting, but that can introduce infection, which again, we don't want. So otherwise, I always say to my patients, just have a chill day after your Botox, relax, and just try not to do too much. So those are the main things to do after your Botox appointment. Hopefully after 2 weeks, you'll be feeling great and you'll be completely wrinkle-free. Botox is fantastic for eliminating fine lines and wrinkles. Everyone loves it. Not a lot of people admit that they get Botox done, but I can tell you a lot of people have it done. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you've taken something away that you can bring to your Botox appointment more informed than you were before. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything, if you have any questions or there's anything you'd like to know about. I'm more than happy to answer questions, and I'll see you next time.